All right, we're back. All right, week two. Hey, in preparation for making this, I thought about a lot about part twos and how good some of the part twos were to part ones. So hopefully part two will be as good as all these other part twos as it was to their part ones. Some of the ones that went through my mind were Rocky, of course. You know, Rocky was one of the greatest movies of all time, and part two was almost as good as part one. So hopefully this will be along the same lines. The Godfather, Godfather one and two was great. Three, we won't talk about three. We can throw that right out the door. Rambo one and two was okay. They were along the same lines. The Star Wars sagas, one one was good. The whole trilogy of one was good, and then you got to that part two and it wasn't so good. So hopefully that doesn't follow the same suit. But hey, week two is here and gone, and let's take a look back over of what happened during week two. During week two, Matt, me, the best commish in the world, kind of beat up Jamie pretty bad. I left him laying on the floor, beat up, hurt, crying, hoping that the trainers were going to come out and pick him up off the ground. Um, the only other beating that I can compare it to, and it's a horrible comparison to have to compare it to, is the way Justin Tuck, my man, Justin Tuck, was laying on the ground after Flozell Adams threw that cheap shot. What is that? That was a complete cheap shot. He should be suspended. He should be fined, thrown out of football for all I care, for throwing that cheap shot on my man Justin Tuck. Yeah, who really does that? The guy was clearly beat, and the only thing he had left to do was throw a little sucker in there, a little cheap shot. Nobody does stuff like that. I take that back. Steve would do something like that. I could totally see Steve getting beat and then, slap somebody in the ear from behind or something like that after he's been beat. But, that's Steve and Flozell, one and the same. Anyway, Bren, hey, great victory this week, Bren. I appreciate the use of the microphone. Unfortunately, it threw off the audio, so I wasn't able to use it. But you beat Jim. Jim, there's no two ways about it. I thought it was maybe just some adjustment problems or something, but your team sucks. Just sucks. You're going to have to make some more adjustments. You dragged and clicked in the wrong area. You brought the wrong quarterback in. But that's fantasy football. And in fantasy football, we can't sit around with mistakes. Not like fantasy baseball. You can make a mistake here, make a mistake there. But there's no time in fantasy football for mistakes. You got to correct that problem right now. Eddie, the boss, you listened to me. You made those corrections. You came out on top. You beat up Senior. Senior, I wish I had some soft music playing for you. I know how you feel. You got beat both in fantasy baseball and in fantasy football. Um, it was a tough loss. What can I say? I know how you feel. That's all I can say. Karen, you're steamrolling over the competition. I was right. You are half Slim Shady, half lady. And you beat up Junior. Junior, I saw him yesterday. Frankie was walking around. He's beside himself. It's like he's a whole different person. He doesn't know what to do. He's lost. But I know that he'll rebound and come back and make some good adjustments. But the clock is ticking. Got to make those adjustments, Frankie. And Safko, I called that one. Beats up Steve's team. Steve's team just sucks. Just sucks. There's no two ways around it. His team really does suck. 0-2, Steve. Good job. Anyway, looking at the week forward now, we've got a tough week three. A lot of good teams are going up against each other, and some adjustments need to be made for those teams that aren't looking so good to get in the mix. I got my winners and losers here, and I'll go down them real quick. Matt, me, the best commission in the world. I'm going to go ahead and take Bren. Sorry, Bren. Like I say, thanks for the use of the microphone, but I'm rooting against you this week. Safko, how is this? I got you winning again. I think that you're going to beat Senior. I think Senior will make some good adjustments, and that his team is on the up, but not this week. Not on that far up. Junior, I got you beating Steve. Like I said, Steve, I'm never going to vote for your team. I just think that your team sucks. I hate the Patriots. They suck. I hate the Boston Red Sox. They suck. So, I don't think that they're going to win. Neither your teams nor your fantasy teams. Karen, I see you beating up Pops. Your team's strong, and I don't see him. I don't see him going backwards this week. Uh, Eddie, I got you winning over Jamie. Jamie team is beat up. They're still laying on the field crying. The trainer hasn't come out quite yet, and I think Eddie's going to take you again. I think the boss is going to come through once again. All right, so along the same lines as being sequels and number twos and all that kind of stuff. By the way, number two, Derek Jeter, best player in all of baseball, best personality in baseball. Let's go to 50%. 50%. That's where we are as far as in the fantasy league. We're 50% of the first one quarter. It's a stretch, but hey, it's there. It's a statistic. It's there, and that's where we are as far as in the fantasy league. 50%. 50% also happens to be the amount of games that the Yankees really need to win in order to secure the AL East. 50% is what, if you're 2-0 right now, is what you'll be down as far as wins to losses. 50%, you'll be 2-1. And if you win this week and you're 0-2, like Jimmy Boy and Steve, 50% you'll be wins to losses. You'll be 50% won and 2 losses. So not a big room of improvement, and hopefully the following week you'll get to 50% total for your fantasy league scores. So with that being said, hopefully this wasn't half as good as the last one. Hopefully it was 100% better. But I'm sure next week is going to be even better because I got a little treat in for you. I'll let you all know. A little treat next week. We're going to have a little guest appearance next week, and we'll see how that goes. But until then, this is the Commish out. Hopefully that you'll have a good week and enjoy week 3. I know I will, and I'm done.